intergenerational care. So I got the idea for this when I was actually on Facebook. My mom sent me a video about this awesome center in Washington State called Mount St. Vincent. You'll hear me talk about it numerous times. So here we go. So a big issue that a lot of older adults face is purpose. It was tied into longevity with the Blue Zone research that we learned about in class. And this longevity is related to a decrease in health problems, and everybody needs motivation to get up in the morning, a reason to go out and do something with your day. So isolation and loneliness. Research from Greenwich, a research study I found, said loneliness and isolation are listed as major risk factors for why their health declines so much. It was one of the main risk factors in their study. They said isolation leads to depression. I mean, we've all seen that in senior care all over the world. People need people, as we've learned, like intimacy is key to keeping people happy and mentally healthy in any case. Just that needing people is such an essential part of life. Identity crisis is something that a lot of people face when they move into a nursing home. Who are we when we lose our home and all the people around us that make that home a home? Everybody has kids, but that doesn't necessarily mean they live in the same town, the same city. People can lose their identity with those relationships that are changing, and everything is changing in their lives when they move out of their home for the first time. Age changes how we see ourselves, and identity is hard anyway. So all these changes coupled with aging and losing independence, it's a scary time. Another issue that the United States faces, more so than any other country, childcare. So childcare of any quality is hard to find and expensive, if anything. Moms have to sacrifice their professional lives most of the time to choose, do I stay home or do I be the best mom I can? And that's not exactly fair. I mean, dads face it too, but it's not fair that Americans have to face the issue of quality childcare or staying home. Kids they overrun administrators. These people at the daycares are just taking as many kids as they can because that's more money for them. The more kids per professional, per teacher, per administrator to take care of them, they make more money. So with this, bad behavior is promoted because, the kid acting out is the kid that's going to get taken care of, but the kid might just want attention. And coupled with hundreds of other issues, it is a huge issue that needs to be addressed in the United States. So, to tackle both of these issues, integration. Intergenerational care is what it's called. There's been minimal research on it, but in all the cases that it's happened, it's been so crazy successful. Mount St. Vincent is the one I mentioned earlier, has been doing this since 1991. They have 125 kids, 500 residents staying at the facility, and it is so super successful for many reasons that I'm about to highlight. So this kind of care gives purpose. Residents, that don't have something to look forward to, they lose that sense of purpose. But with these kids being there, they have something they can be a part of, and they have a structure to their day. They have a time and place that they need to be at the place, ready to go to help the kids. They have something they can be involved in. So companionship is a huge cure of isolation and loneliness. The residents gets to play, they get to paint, they get to read, they get to interact with the kids at the daycare. It gives a normalcy and just common ground for both populations to just interact. Kids lose that sense of ageism of old cranky fart that it lives in a home. They suddenly have a friend that lives there that they get to hang out with. Residents in the Mount Vincent model called the kids their sunshine, and they said it was like a ray of sunshine walking down the halls and hearing kids giggle. So it is super successful, and residents really do enjoy it in the homes where it's been successful. It fixes identity for a lot of residents. Because kids forget names. They're little, daycare age before preschool. So everyone becomes grandma, everyone becomes grandpa. It's a new sense of identity, or maybe just another sense of identity. They become another person's grandma or grandpa. A lot of the activities are arranged, but spontaneity is also encouraged in the Mount Vincent model, along with the California model, different center, but just as successful. So what this does for childcare, it makes it affordable, it makes it quality. These kids can get the right kind of attention. They drew a good, pretty picture, they behaved well. That resident can give them the attention, the positive attention they need to encourage that good behavior, and that just sets them up for school, that sets them up for a good future. So, all these great positives to it, why don't they exist? There isn't one in Kansas that I could find in any of my research. I looked everywhere. So, why don't they exist? I think it might just be that it's such a new idea. There are only a few centers in all the United States, but other countries have done it too for multiple years. Singapore was one of the studies I found where it's been super successful. The UK had a TED Talk about it. It was so interesting to see the success that multiple cultures have had. It's not a United States thing, it's a cross-cultural phenomenon that we could be a part of, that we could integrate the two generations, and it could benefit both populations so much. So, is it worth it? Is changing the way our system works worth it? For the reasons I've listed, yes, and many, many more that we can't even fathom because it hasn't become the norm. Because a preschool, a daycare, in a nursing home, in a resident care facility, they haven't been intertwined enough to get good research on it. It's been successful in all the models that it's been presented, but we don't have hardcore data to show why it's successful, and this could be a whole new research field that could be absolutely phenomenal. So for these reasons and the other, I would like to integrate generations, intergenerational care. So with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you.